Okay.
Well, good now, Move family. We back with another episode of WNBA. I'm your boy Moss Pride, and I got my partner in crime.
What's going on, Moss, man? It's your boy Sports Evan, man. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so the WNBA regular season has ended. We got our seeds together. We got our storylines. We got pretty much our award races is come to a close. So based on the structure of how this season ended, what was your biggest takeaway from this season?
I was really impressed with the late run by the Aces. Really impressed. I think they pulled off 16 straight games to end the season.
I believe 16.
Yeah. I think that puts Asia Wilson smack dab at the front of the MVP candidacy again. I don't think there's no question about that. But I don't think they're the best team in the league. I still think the best team in the league is the Minnesota Lynx. And I think they're gonna win the whole thing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, so as you know, after they got beat by like 53 by the Lynx, they went on that crazy win streak that lit a fire in them. Probably the biggest takeaway for me is the Valkyrie making the playoffs in the inaugural season. They had like a good regular season in their first season. Of course,
Did you watch them play?
I watched actually quite a few Valkyrie games. Veronica Burton was very good, probably the most improved player this season. She was very good for Valkyrie. Their coach did a wonderful job preparing them from games. They were able to execute very well. For them to be an upstart team, I thought they did an awesome job. That's my biggest takeaway. Like that was a wow for me.
If you watch them play, they were a really scrappy team, though. Teams like that, they play hard, they defend, they share the ball because they don't have like a superstar. You know what I mean? So they're sharing the ball. They're playing They gave me Detroit Pistons vibes when they had Chauncey, Rip, Ben Wallace. It was just a bunch of guys who could go get you 13, 14 points, and they beat you as a group.
Yeah, I would say, for me, a more recent team, I would say the Trailblazers from last year. Now, of course, they didn't make playoffs, so it's not exactly the same. But they got a Tumani Kamara. They got a Matisse Thybulle. They got all these scrappy defenders who can give you anywhere from 12 to 15 points, and they're going to make you earn every bucket. They're going to make you earn walking up the court pretty much, and that's what they did for me. That's what I noticed for them. And, of course, that was big for them making the playoffs this year, being that team that's going to make you earn every shot, every step, every dribble. You got to earn it. Now, of course, as you said, the Lynx been the most dominant team this season, just walking through everybody pretty much. Courtney Williams, Kelly McBride, they got Nafisa Collier. They got a squad over there, and they've been showing why they're the best team in the league consistently. And I've been saying the last 3 weeks, they're the most dominant basketball team on the planet. They've just been dominating their competition. They lost their MVP for a 2-week stretch. They lost their MVP player. And still was walking over teams like it was nothing. Putting up great shooting performances. They was defending very well in the half court. And
let me ask you a question. On the flip side of that, right? Do you think that those 2 weeks of Nafisa being out and the Lynx still playing well hurt her MVP candidacy? I had a conversation with somebody where they mentioned that, but the team was still good without her. When she was hurt, she was out for 2 weeks. They still won a bunch of games. That's going to hurt her in MVP voting.
It could, because we've seen that happen in the past, right? With players, the key part of MVP is valuable. So if we say that your team is one of the better teams in the league without you, it hurts your value as it comes to, the narrative of your MVP season and award voting and such and such. And we see that across every sport, right? Teams play well without their best player, and so it takes away from the value, quote unquote with that player.
Yeah.
So could definitely do it.
Yep.
And
I agree with that.
especially during that stretch, that's when they beat the Aces. And then, Agent Wilson turned to the best player on the planet for the last month and a half of the season.
Yeah. She's on a tear right now. I don't know. It's going to be tough in the West. To me, that's the Western Conference Finals matchup right there. The Lynx and the Aces. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anybody that's going to get in the way of that.
Yeah,
I do think the East is a little more wide open in terms of like, I do think there's a chance that the Liberty still win the East. I know everybody's high on Atlanta right now. They've been playing really well. I'm not trying to knock them. They're having a great season, but I still think Liberty can knock them off in the playoffs.
Yeah, as you know, you probably don't know. I'm an Atlanta Dream fan. That's my team.
Okay.
I think Lynx is meeting up with us in the championship. That's what I think.
I'm somebody who said the Lynx are going to win the finals, so I'm not opposed to the Lynx coming out, and I'm not opposed to the Dream coming out either. I'm a Liberty fan, but I'm a Liberty fan who thinks that championship that we won last year, it's got an asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
Some very questionable calls and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Very questionable call. I'm not a delusional Liberty fan. You know what I mean? I'm just a native New Yorker, so I like the Liberty and I like the Knicks. But it's questionable. And I also don't think I think we lack some toughness too as a team, the Liberty. And I think the Dream are just a little grittier than us, to be honest.
Yeah. And y'all dealt with some injuries a lot throughout the season. I noticed. Like I was looking at some of the lineups, and when I was looking over preview of certain games, and it's like Stewie's out this game, and Inescu was out this game. It was a couple.
Yeah, but
injuries
we don't have most of the good teams around the W. I think you can agree with this. They have scrappy wings.
Yeah.
Who's the scrappy wing on the Liberty?
That's a good question.
You understand? We don't have one. We don't have one. You know what I mean? We got a bunch of finesse players. You understand what I'm saying? And we need some dog. And I think that's what we're lacking. And I think in a playoff series against some dogs, that'll be our downfall.
Yeah, that's a very interesting viewpoint of it, because I do agree. Like Atlanta, they got the Alicia Grays and the Jordan Canadas, and you look over with the Lynx, they got Courtney Williams and Nafisa Collier, and then you look at the Indiana. Aces. Yeah, Aces, Indiana, they got some dogs in the wings, and
exactly.
y'all do like that part of y'all game. So I can definitely see how that that looks.
If you watch the teams that we struggled against this season, I'm speaking about the Liberty, they were the teams with the scrappy wings. Nephew struggles particularly against those long, scrappy wings. So, like, look at her efficiency numbers against Indiana or against Atlanta. It's not very good. She doesn't shoot well against those teams with scrappy ass wings who will sit down, get under her, who aren't afraid to be physical, like
heavy on ball pressure.
Right. That's not our team isn't wired for that. We need a Courtney Williams or something like that in New York.
Yeah. If I can remember, I think Sonia Citron gave her troubles too, sitting in that chair and putting her doing on ball pressure.
Sonia Citron is one of those scrappy wings I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like she's been a scrappy player since high school. I remember her in high school. She's from New York.
Yes. So another thing, the Fever made the playoffs, as we know, without Caitlin Clark. And of course, like Aaliyah Boston and some of those players, Sophie Cunningham, a lot of players on that team really pulled it together. I've seen a couple great games from Lexi Hole. They really pulled it together to, without Caitlin Clark, who's supposed to be their best player and one of the better players in the W. How do you think that looks as far as her being injury riddled her second season?
Mm-hmm.
Her team how her team looks without her. How do you think that outlook on the WNBA? How do you think that plays
out? I think for Caitlin, I'll speak for Caitlin first, just from a mindset standpoint, from a player's perspective as well. If you're a high IQ player and you're sitting on the side, you're looking at ways how you can implement what you do into what your team is doing well when you're not on the floor, if they're having success. So I think when she comes back, I think the key for her, like I've been saying for the longest, like even in college when she was all everything, I was telling people the shot selection has to be better. The understanding that the possession of the basketball is the most important thing in the game of basketball, it has to be better. She has to cut down on the turnovers. And that means coming off the ball a little bit more sometimes. That means every time you pass the ball, you don't have to pass to get an assist. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like a hockey assist. Sometimes you make the pass to the guy who makes the pass instead of
Yeah.
trying to make the pass. Cut down on the turnovers, better shot selection, and implement your teammates a little bit more. I'm not big on Caitlin Clark because I do feel like she's a very statistical basketball player. And this season in particular, although a small sample size, she's had a very negative impact on her team when she's on the floor. Um,
Interesting.
I just don't see too much of anybody else doing anything with the ball. I'm a New York Knicks fan, right? And I'll make the comparison to her to Jalen Brunson. She's a better shooter than Jalen Brunson, but I've watched numerous possessions where Caitlin Clark will dribble the ball for 16, 17 seconds of a possession and then throw a grenade to somebody in the corner with 3 seconds left on the shot clock, and they're forced to take a low percentage shot. Or she'll dribble it for 15 seconds and then shoot a 35-foot step back three, which is a low percentage shot. Like, she's got to be smarter with the basketball. She's got to make better plays.
Yeah, one of my biggest criticism of her has been she seems very unintentional on offense, in the sense of I said Jimmy Fredette a lot, just taking these deep, like it's like she's not trying to get to a certain spot. She's not trying to put any pressure on the defense. She's just going to try to shoot her way out of every possession.
Yeah, she's going to
And
hoist. She's hoisting 35, 38 feet. There's no range that's, in her
yeah,
mind, a bad shot.
and then also to add on to that is she'll give the ball up, and if she doesn't get it exactly when she wants it, she kind of quits on the possession.
Yep,
And
she
that's what I
pouts.
mean by unintentional, right? It's like she sometimes the offense, she doesn't set the offense up in its best position to be successful or efficient on that certain possession. It's more of I got to get right here. Well, I'm not going to even try to get right here. I'm not going to try to fight off ball or none of that. I just want the ball when I want it, and then you got to watch me do the rest with it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's been one of my biggest criticisms. Also, she's very lackluster on defense, as we all know. And I'm watching Paige Beckers in her rookie year be very intentional on offense, get to her spots, fight through contact, get good shots from the mid range wherever she wanted, high block, low block, even 3-point shots when she wanted. She's not hoisting from deep. She's getting the best shot she can,
I
and I
think
need to see
Paige is
more
a
of that
better
from Caitlin
player.
Clark.
I think Paige is a
I
better player.
I agree.
And to be honest with you, I really don't think it's that close. Um, I think Caitlin has more volume in terms of her shot amount, and that's why sometimes she comes up with these point totals. But I've watched games. Wasn't there a game where Paige had 40 and she missed like 2 shots?
Yeah, she had like a crazy efficient game. She was like 15 for 17, 44,
Yeah,
44 points.
that's ridiculous, bro. Like, we do that in 2K.
Yeah, and then also like I watched Kelsey Mitchell after Caitlin Clark go out. Power this offense, a very efficient offense, shooting very efficiently from the field. Of a lot of great offensive play. Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, they were very good on offense and to power this team to the playoffs despite losing
Remember
Caitlin Clark.
when remember when Caitlin went down early in the season? And Kelsey Mitchell went on that tear and she was getting 30 almost every night.
Yeah, and
Um,
then Aaliyah Boston was like 15 and 10 every time we
right.
looked up. It was
And
15
the
and 10.
team looked so much better. I said to my boy, because he's a big WNBA guy too, I said, she's the best player on that team right now. Caitlin's the most popularized media, like the media drives her. They want her to be, you know what I mean, the Steph Curry of the WNBA. They want her to be the ticket that drives the NBA to the next level. Cool. But she's not even the best player on her team, let alone the best player in the league.
Yeah, I agree. I think her where she's going to struggle at for me in her third season coming off this injury is she's going to have to replant herself in this locker room, and then it's because we figured out how to survive without you, and we did very well without you. So you're going to have
Yep.
to figure out where you fit in this offense, because I don't think they're going to let some of the things she did, some of her bad habits that she developed over time, not being such a physical presence, being soft, not again being intentional on possessions. I don't think they're going to let that fly anymore, because they went to the playoffs. I think they had one of the better seasons. I think they have home court advantage in the first round. All of that without you. So I don't think you can then come in and do that same thing. That's not going to fly anymore.
I get what you're saying, and I understand the logic that you're applying, and it makes like sense in 99% of the situations. I just don't think it applies in this situation because there's so much riding on this girl's success. So if she
That's
doesn't get what she wants, if the narrative isn't pushed the way the WNBA wants it pushed, we all understand this is a business. And they're trying to drive this business through her. So
wait.
there will be no taking a back seat to anybody for her. The league won't allow it. Indiana won't allow it. The
That
coach will be
is
out of a job if she tries to put Caitlin Clark in a smaller role.
that is 100%. That is 100% correct. I definitely correct
You
way of looking
understand what
at
I'm
it.
saying? Like,
Yeah,
I just look at it from that standpoint. Sometimes it's not about the X's and O's,
yeah.
right? It's
Business
about the
first.
business first. And people don't understand that. Yeah, it's sports, it's a game between the lines. But outside the lines, there's big business at hand.
So much
And
more. Hmm.
she is what they're trying to make the face of this business.
Yes.
There's no way that she can be anything less than a perennial superstar if the plan is going to work. This is the equivalent for them of Larry Bird entering the NBA.
Yeah.
This has to work.
It, I can definitely see where you're going because,
You
of
understand what
course,
I'm saying?
this is like the tipping in the balance because they were coming up on year 30, I believe.
Right. And
WNBA
and you have
typically,
eyes on the league in a way that you've never had before.
yeah. It's the deal, CBA deal coming up.
They got to
Um,
cash in,
yeah, 100%. I see what you look. I see what you're
and
saying.
she's got to be a draw.
Kind of piggybacking off the Caitlin Clark to flip to the other side is Angel Reese. People didn't like her comments what she made about Chicago, the Sky saying they need to get better players. They felt like she was throwing her players under the bus. Um, I've been a big Angel Reese defender for a while. I can't defend this. You can't do that to your teammates.
I
Y'all
have been an
built
Ed Reese defender for a while. Let me ask you a question: is it any different than what LeBron James did to Cleveland?
uh not
These
really.
guys are got these
That's
guys are not good enough. But I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna go on ESPN and I'm gonna do the decision. And I'm gonna just basically put it out in the open that this organization wasn't good enough for me. And I'm taking
yeah,
my talent to South Beach.
yeah, that's disgusting. And from my perspective, I believe that was disgusting too. You that's not
Yep.
I don't think because you fight with these players in your locker room. Again, I've been in locker rooms, I played sports.
Yep.
I know how it feels to have that camaraderie and y'all fighting tooth and nail, you and Camilla and all these girls, they're fighting tooth and nail to improve as players in this team. Y'all have improved as players from what I've seen from year 1 to year 2.
Hmm.
And of course, y'all had a lot of guard rotation in and out of lineup, even her included. I don't like what she said because again, like as much as I defended you, you also had to take a step because you weren't very good to start the season off and last season too. So the same grace that we've given you because you taking that step, you have to give your teammates that same grace.
Now let me ask you a question, right? I get what you're saying, right? Um, but as a face of a franchise, right, in this era of player empowerment, right? When Chicago drafted Angel Reese, they did understand that she was an outspoken individual, right? That she was going to speak her mind and say what was on her mind, right? That's right. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah, 100%.
So now when she does what you know she's capable of doing, right? The response can't be this. You understand what I'm saying? You drafted this individual. You knew what she was doing. She was talking like this. She was saying stuff like this since college. She talked reckless. That's what she do.
I agree. However, you just arrived, and this is year 2 of the Angel Reese experience. Like you have to be a little bit more patient, especially when you this is your first. You just arrived here, right? It's not like y'all been fighting for 7 years and you don't know what y'all are in year 2 of this experience. You, Camilla, and all these. They got Vanderfloot to come in. They got Haley Van Lith to come in. They're trying to get their pieces together. In year 2, you're saying they don't get good players in here, or they don't get great players in here. I'm done pretty much. Like for me, that's tapping out a little too early. And again, with you just arriving on the scene as you just putting it together, and you still have room to improve, and the team still have room to improve, you have to pump the brakes just a little bit.
I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it. But what conversations are being had to ensure that she has help? And also, like I said to my boy yesterday, in the summertime, what are we doing to continue to develop these players? Because I watched Andrew Reese shooting step back threes during the summer, like during her workouts. Like she's with her trainer shooting step back threes. Did you see her shoot one step back three this season in the WNBA?
No, I seen a lot because I seen a lot of her post game during the off season that she worked on. I seen a lot of that mid range game translate. Also, she was a better playmaker out of the post and out of the mid range when because she was getting double teamed off the catch a lot, and I seen her playmaking out of that. But
I'm going to send
the
you a
three
bunch of
ball,
video. I'm going to send you a bunch of videos, boss. I'll send them through JB, but I'll get them to you. Where she's working on step back threes, off the dribble, step back threes.
yeah, that's not it.
That's probably why you got off to a slow start. You're doing stuff that doesn't apply to your game. So before you critique others, you got to look in the mirror, right? That's what leadership is, right?
Yeah,
I
100%.
gotta ask myself the same things I'm going to ask these guys in the locker room. So I got to look at myself before I go to my teammate and say, has he been doing everything he needs to do to be successful, right? I got to ask myself, have I been doing everything I need to do to be successful? I haven't been on the floor. I haven't been available. My play has been up and down throughout the course of 2 years here in Chicago. And the first thing that I do and say out my mouth is the talent around me isn't good enough. Oh, you're not good enough. You have to get better. It starts
Yeah,
with you. They're building this team around you and Camilla. So you have to get better. The team's success or the team's failure is a reflection of you.
yeah,
Period.
and I feel like for me, that's the biggest kick in the face for me for Camilla because you and her has been wrecking the paint this season, dominating the glass. A lot of interior playmaking from 4 to 5 playmaking, a lot of 4 to 5 pick and rolls.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have showed that you're a great 10. And then for you to come out and say that, you just specify anybody. So anybody in the locker room can feel hit. How does she feel? Because she's like, okay, we just built this chemistry in year 2. That make me feel some type of way because then you come out by the end of the season and say, hey, I don't have enough talent around me. I can't defend that. That's not cool in my eyes. Because again, you still have so much room to improve, Angel. You still have room to improve.
Yeah, she does
Everybody
have
on your
room to
roster.
improve, but I think the talent around her has to improve too in order to maximize her skill set. Like for
Yeah,
example, can I ask you a question? Do you think there's enough shooting on Chicago?
no.
Right. So when you have two bigs who play in the interior, right? You should put what around them?
Shooters, 100%.
Floor spacing and shooting, right?
Yeah, I
So
think they
this is
need better
something.
playmaking too.
This is something. Yeah, but you put two shooters out there, point guard who can play make, right? And you're talking about a different team in Chicago. Their
Also,
four, their 4-5 is gonna wreck the boards, like you said, and crash and kill the interior against pretty much anybody in the league.
yeah.
Me and you can see that from watching the game from television. Why
Another
can't
thing
the people
is,
in the building see that?
another thing is, of course, that um the coaching has to get better too. Because I was taking, I watch games, I take my notes, and I lost my mind because they got a pass. I think they're playing the Sun. They were down by like a big chunk of points. It was like 20 something, right?
Hmm.
And so then the offense get going. I think Angel Reese has a good screen. She rolls to the basket as a layup. They dump it to her in the post. She's double teamed off the catch. She kicks it up wide open 3. She doesn't touch the ball for another 2 to 3 minutes. That for me is insane.
That's coaching.
Yeah, that's coaching. The coach has to get better.
That's coaching. Like I coach basketball. I coach youth basketball. You know what I mean? I coach high school and youth basketball. You feel me? And when somebody gets it going, I'm calling their number till they're not going no more. That's just basic basketball etiquette. A guy hits 2, 3 shots in a row, you call his number the fourth time. You gotta see what's going on. He might be having one of those nights.
And especially if your offense flowing through her, not only in the scoring, but she's able to get
But she's
open shots
playmaking
for
as
other
well.
teams.
Yeah.
How did she not touch the ball for another 3 minutes and you go down by
That's
another 7 points?
but
That
these are the some of the things that probably led to her making that statement that she made. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just the talent, it's not just the players around me, it's the talent as a whole. I'm talking about the talent on the sideline that are supposed to be putting me in position to be successful. Like if you identified that, right? I'm sure she identified it.
yeah. I just think
Like
it was a little too early. I think because I still think this team can grow together. Because not only do she have room to improve, like I said, the talent around her, they can improve. They can get that camaraderie, they can improve. So I don't think she jumped the gun just a little too early for me.
yeah, I agree with you. She jumped the gun. She probably shouldn't have said some of the things that she said. And it led me to question whether or not we saw her play her last game in Chicago.
Yeah, that's a very interesting outlook on it because
It's obvious she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, and then it's like I want to see what his team can do because I think they have some very interesting pieces. I don't want to see them break up. I also want to see Angel Reese be successful. As I said, I've been an Angel Reese fan since I don't know how long. I like the way she plays. You know, again, I like what she fought through, the amount of criticism she get for the me bound narrative and things of that nature. The criticism that she fought through and still improved and still went out there and played very well and shut the haters up. So I want to see her. I want to see her successful. I want to see her get championships. I want to see her make the
I
W.
want to see her successful as well, but I just want her to play basketball. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes, like for example, right? She got off to a slow start, and then she played some really good basketball until she got hurt.
she was
Correct
historic for
or
like
incorrect?
2 months.
Right. So let that be the thing that people have to say about your season. You see how me and you sitting here having a conversation about her, and it has nothing to do with her play on the court.
Yeah,
She has
unfortunately,
to
yeah.
stop there. But this is what I'm saying. How many times has this been the case for her?
It's been the case since LSU.
Right. So when does this get old? When do you say, as a player or as a person, period, like, yo, I got to change the narrative around me? You understand what I'm saying? Like, maybe I have to do things a little bit differently about how I do things because the narrative around me is never about my play. It's never about the success I have on the court. It's always about something I've said or something
Yeah,
I've done outside of the game.
I also think some of it is out of her control, right? Because I'm on Twitter. I'm watching updates on sports period, and then Angel Reese is like takes a picture, and then they're like, oh, this is what she does off the court. No, no,
Yeah,
no,
but
no,
stuff
no.
like that, I don't get into. Like stuff like that, if you pay attention to that, then you just somebody that dislikes her for your reason. You have your own reasons. Cool, right? I'm cool with that. There are people that's just going to dislike you for no reason, or they'll make up a reason in their mind and they'll dislike you. That's fine, right? But the things that she can control make way to the things she can't control. So if she not all up in Caitlin's face doing the John Cena in a national championship game or slapping her finger for her ring in front of the girl's face, she never becomes villainized in the first place to some people out there, right? Then to take it a
Yeah,
step further, you double down on it and you continuously talk about this girl who hasn't said a word about you. And I'm not trying to say Caitlin's some angel. I've watched her do some dirty things on a basketball court, but she hasn't come out and said anything negative about Angel to this day.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. That's
I
like
think she fishing for validation too much.
right.
She need that
And your
validation that Caitlyn
validation,
is.
yeah, but your validation is on the court.
Yeah, you got to go there and get it.
Because when you were playing and you were playing well, there was none of this me bounce conversation. Nobody cared who you were taking a picture with because you were doing your job, which is to play basketball, and you were doing it at
Yeah.
a high level. So it's like James Harden. You ever heard some of the stories about James Harden in Houston and what he was doing outside of basketball?
Not until he left.
Yeah. My point exactly. You know why you didn't hear about it until he left?
Because
Because
he was
when he
averaging
got on the
36
court,
and 9.
exactly. Because when he got between those lines, he did his job. So whatever he did outside of those lines, nobody cared.
Yeah.
So when you're doing your job at a high level, right? You can go take a picture with whoever the fuck you want after the game. We
Yeah.
don't care. You just had 20 and 20 and 5 and we won. Do your
Yeah.
job, then live your life.
100%. I 100% agree with that.
But when what you do with your life gets in the way of your job, right? That's when people gonna talk about it. Because at the end of the day, you're a professional athlete.
Yeah. Kind of so piggyback from one young player to another, well, a chunk of young players. I like what the Mystics did. Well, I like their young core, the duo they got Kiki and Sonya, and then the wings. I like the leadership page show, being a national championship, immediately translating to the leader of the Dallas Wings locker room. What do you think the wings can do to surround her, like to get her to the level that where she can compete?
The Wings just have to draft well around her. I think we're seeing a lot of the teams that are on the rise right now. They were built through the draft. You know what I mean? So you just got to have some kind of patience. Like Washington, I think Washington's going to be good in a couple of years. I love what they did in the draft this year, and I think they're going to be a really good team going forward. You look at Indiana; they were built through the draft for the most part. Then they plugged in the pieces. You know what I mean? I think they just got to continue to build around Page and getting a defensive-minded wing, a big girl who can rebound and protect the basket will help. And
Yeah.
also, and this may be a little controversial, but I think they need to move Enrique.
Yeah. And it hurt because Enrique, that's like, I've been a fan of her for the longest time. I talk about her all the time. If you've seen the past episodes, I think they need to bring another piece in to supplement
Yep.
Paige a little
Yep.
bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing against, of course, there's nothing against Enrique. It's not like, I just think sometimes things just need to change.
Right. I think it's time for a change. And I think that because when I watched the Wings play this season, sometimes it was a struggle. Who's going to have the ball? Who's going to do what for the offense between her and Paige? And I don't think that there should be any confusion about who the basketball goes to in Dallas. I think the
Yeah.
ball needs to go through Paige full time, and you live with the results. And it's no disrespect to Enrique. I mean, she's been a great player for a long time, but times change. You understand what I'm saying? Like times change, and you're still a good player, but you're 15, 16 points a night. She's walking in the league getting you that right now, on better efficiency, better playmaking, better defensive potential. It's time to turn over and turn to the next page in the book. Like you got to go young. You got to build around her. And,
Yeah.
and and I think Enrique has value. You can probably get a first round pick for her.
Especially they're going to have a higher pick in this draft, considering that they won 11 games, 10 games. So
10 and
10.
34.
Yeah, so they're going to have one of the better draft picks in this draft. And of course, you get some draft capital out of Enrique. That's definitely something to cook with, building around Paige. Especially
Exactly.
she came in showed so much promise in her rookie year. She was unbelievable for me. Well, I believed it because she'd been that good for a while, but it was still unbelievable. It made no sense from the things she was doing. She passed up Sue Bird for assists in the rookie season.
Yep.
All-star, top 10 in points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had like an amazing rookie season.
She had a historic rookie season for sure. I think they're a Washington Mystics draft away from being a playoff team. I think she's that good.
Yeah, that's definitely a good outlook for them in the future. I just think they got to nail these next 2-3 years. They have to nail it.
Yep. You nail these next two drafts, they could be on to something because she's going to be top 2, top 3 player in the league for as long as she's here.
Yeah. So one thing I've seen is the Storm has had a pretty good season. Mm-hmm. Skylar Diggins, they had Malonga out the draft. Every time I watch, and this is of course they have a 6'9" center. Every time I watch a Storm game, they destroyed when it came to paint points.
Yeah,
it was like 20 paint points to the team to the opposite team. 12. It was like sometimes it was like 35 to 8. Like the paint point difference was huge this season. Yes. And so I think they definitely hit on that Dominic Malonga pick. That was great for them. Killing the rebounds, the paint.
I saw that girl just a couple of videos pre-draft and just some overseas highlights and film that they had on her. The way she moves at her size is not normal.
Yeah.
To me, she had the most upside in the draft, and it's not close.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like it's not close at all. Like she can put
6'9" moving like that, yeah.
And she can shoot it and put it on the floor.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. She can give you that space,
right? I said to somebody, "This is the first unicorn in the WNBA."
Yeah, we got WNBA unicorns now. It's crazy.
She can be special. She could be something that league has never seen before. With her combination of size, athletic ability, she gets on the rim. She can shoot the 3 ball. This is a girl who can get a chase down block on one end, hit a step back 3 one play. Someone gets a tip pass, hits it ahead to her in transition, and she's banging out. And this can potentially be a 45-second sequence for her. This is something we've never seen before in women's basketball. Respectfully.
Yeah, I seen the play she was doing like a little training. She got in post. She did a spin move one way, then spin the opposite way, and dunked it like she was Dwight Howard. I was like, what?
What are you supposed to do about that when you're a woman and you've never seen it before ever?
Yeah, you're a 5'8". You're a 5'8" guard. She drop steps into the paint. You're under the rim, and she just boom. She's LeBron size. Well,
Right.
there's
What
nothing
are
you can
you
do about
supposed
it.
to do? As she continues to get stronger and develop her game, and I do like what Seattle did with her for her rookie year. They kind of took it slow.
Yeah.
They kind of walked her into more minutes and more opportunity as the season progressed. Because she is really young. What is she, like 18 now?
Yeah, I think she's like 18, 19.
Yeah, so
Very young.
she's really young. So I do
She's
like that they
strong as an
slow
ox.
walked her. Yeah, they didn't throw her right into the fire, but you couldn't keep that on the bench for too long.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that combination of physical specimen is definitely not normal when it comes to the W. And this is our first seeing it. Again, like I said, strong as an ox. She can jump. She got the skills. She can put the ball on the floor, give
She's
you some
surprisingly
spacing.
very skilled too.
Yeah.
Very skilled.
She's quick with her feet. Her feet are quick. I'm like,
If you
wow.
remember, if you remember girls in the past that were that size, like even girls 6'5" and up that played in the W previous, they don't move like that.
Yeah. Camila Cadorso, well, she's a very dominant
Yeah,
6'7". She don't
she
move
don't
like
move
that.
like that. Nah, she don't move like that. Mm-mm,
Yeah, I'm
mm-mm.
like, wow. And I remember who did they play? I want to say they played the Wings. I think I watched the and they played the Wings. And it was fume, 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 fume. Blocked by Malonga. Malonga
Yep.
with the 6th rebound. Malonga with the tip in. It's like,
Hmm.
whoa, she's controlling this game right now.
She has potential to be dominant, like literally, like unstoppable. Like you have to double her every time down. She's got that kind of potential. Like,
Yeah, and would a double team work? Because you a 6'3" and a 6'5" guard. I'm not a guard, center and power forward. That's not stopping that. You still here with it and just dunking it. You still here with it.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing you can do about that.
You're gonna have to be really physical with her. I mean, when Will Chamberlain came into the NBA, they didn't know what to do with him. you, you know what I mean? Like like she's gonna be, if she's healthy, she's gonna be generational.
Yeah, I hope
And
she
before the
is.
draft, I'm like, yo, damn, Dallas sure they don't want to take her. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
Because I'm looking at her physicals and how she moves, and I'm like, yo, oh my God, this is crazy right here. Never seen this before. You know what I mean? Like, are we sure we want to pass up on this at one? Now I understand Paige Beckers is a really special player. You know what I mean? But
yeah, sometimes, hey man, you gotta take that
guards,
swing.
guards come around. You know what I mean? Good guards
Yeah,
come around. You understand what I'm saying? There's a couple good guards playing college basketball right now.
yeah,
You could potentially grab Juju Watkins in a year or two.
yeah.
There ain't no 6'9" girl moving like this in the next
It's
five
not.
drafts. I don't know if you pass up on this. And I
Yeah,
still
man.
like, damn, Dow Page was great. I get it, rookie of the year, but do we look back in 5 years and say they made a mistake?
We could potentially, and it's not even like a huge mistake because I also think Paige is going to be one of the best
Yeah,
players in the NBA.
yep,
She just Dominic Malonga just got this crazy ceiling.
yep, yeah, yeah.
And I remember I was saying throughout the season, I'm like, I want to see her on the floor more. I want to see her use her more. And then as it slowly they train her with NECA and all these other girls, kind of putting it together, and then boom, it's like you seen it, and it's like, yeah, it's there.
Yep, it's
We
there.
got
It's all there. Once it clicks, it's over.
we got a Wembanyama in the WNBA, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Hmm.
I wanted to touch on this a little bit. I was making a list. I didn't finish it. What would be your award winners for this season? Of course, we talk about MVP with Aja Wilson, but what would be your award winners?
Go through them. I'll start with the MVP. I do think it's a two-horse race between Nafisa and Asia Wilson. Rookie of the year, I don't think there's any question that's Paige. Um, said defensive player of the year, man. I don't know. That's tough. Defensive player of the year might go to Asia Wilson too.
Yeah,
To be honest, uh, yeah, yeah, she might win defensive player of the year too.
yeah. The way she finished the season, I said, when if her Bam have a baby, that might be the greatest defensive player we ever seen in basketball history. With that type of defense they both play, might be. I'm pretty much with you. throughout the. I'm pretty much with you across the board. I remember one of my episodes. I said Sonya Citron is creeping up on Paige Beckers for Rookie of the Year. The next night was her 40-point night with with the 2
that 40-point night for me. That sealed the deal. I'm like, yeah, this is it.
I'm like, she probably heard me because
and Sonya had a really good year.
I said she's sneaking up on you. She's being that defensive presence. She's playmaking very well. I'm over here yapping my trap. And the next night she puts 40 up on the board. I said, yep, I'm gonna shut up. Okay. You got it.
Yeah. and that 40 was so impressive because it was from every level. Every way that you could think about getting a bucket that night, like she got a bucket that night. Left hand finishes, right hand finishes, midi pull-ups, 3-pointers, screen and roll pull-ups. And anything post turnaround jumpers, elbow fades, like any way you could think of getting a bucket, she was getting a bucket that night.
Yeah, and she reminded me of my favorite NBA player, Kyrie Irving, in a lot of sense. Like get into her spots. She can also come off screens, do her thing, get any shot she want on the court. No matter if it's 3 mid range, she can get to the cup at will. It's like I was like, okay, yeah. So I'm going to shut my mouth because she's 40 points the next night. I struggle with the all defensive teams for me. I didn't know how to fill the all defensive team out. Of course, you had AJ Wilson. I had Ryan Howard there.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to put Dominic there but I don't think she played enough games.
Yeah, I don't think she played enough.
Nafisa Collier, of course, was there. I struggled to finish the all WNBA defensive teams and the all WNBA teams. Right? I was putting one player. I'm like, but what about Nika Ogumike? Okay, but what about this player? I struggle putting together my teams, like all WNBA teams, all defensive teams, things of that nature. Because of course, you got your obvious players, Paige, of course, Nafisa Collier, of course, Stewie, of course. So I kind of struggled to fill it out though. Like I got to like 4 or 5 players, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know who I'm gonna put the rest of these spots.
Yeah, it's interesting because you can name a bunch of players that had great years. That's actually tough. That's actually interesting. That's something I'm probably gonna have to sit down and do myself.
Yeah, I was yeah.
you got my wheels turning right now. I'm thinking like, damn.
Who's going to make these teams? I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a great WNBA season, man. I really like what Kiki Iriafen did. It took me a while to figure out how to pronounce her name, but Kiki Iriafen, I really like what she did in her rookie year. I love what the Atlanta Dream did with Ryan Howard. And
you would love what the Atlanta Dream did this year.
Yeah. I was very, very impressed. Of course, I think the Lynx came out with a chip on their shoulder. They said, "Hey, we lost at a championship. We mad. We little mad."
Again, a controversial ass championship they lost them, but
yeah, Kayla McBride shot the skin off the ball this season. That made no sense what she did. I'm watching games. I'm gonna look through my notes and find it. I was taking notes on one of her games. She was like 7 for 8 from 3 at halftime. I'm like, wow.
She's locked in differently this year.
And then she doesn't miss from the free throw line. That was outside of maybe, I think they played the Liberty one of those games. She had pretty rough night free throw line. Other than that, she doesn't miss from free throw line like Jose Calderon level of free throw shooting.
And Minnesota is a team to me, like what makes them so dangerous to me is they have multiple closers. Like at the end of the game, there's a couple different people on that team that can close the door on you.
Yeah. I was watching one of those. I want to go through my notes real quick. I was watching the game. I forgot who it was. I looked at the game. It was like a 5-point game. I looked down and I looked up again. It was a 20-point game out of nowhere. And it was like, I forgot who it was. They hit like a chunk of threes. Hyman it was. She hit like a chunk of threes and a chunk of layups. She was playmaking well. She had like 3 assists and like 15 points in that span. I was like, whoa. And then, of course, Courtney Williams had games where she showed up. And if it's Collier, of course, closed games.
That team is loaded.
I'm like,
that team is loaded.
Loaded. And it's like, then they got that big rotation to also protect the basket and rebound. And it's like, I was like, yeah, they got some dogs. And then, of course, I'm like, this. I don't see how anybody beats this team. I don't see how.
The only thing I see Minnesota missing is the athletic wing. Like one of those long, athletic DeWanna Bonner type wings.
But then they traded for DJ Carrington.
Yeah.
they got something there. So it's like I don't see how if you're in a series with this team, you have to play them multiple games. We've seen
How you
the
beat them.
Storm steal some games. We've seen steal some games. But in a setting where you have to play us multiple times to beat us, I don't see how they lose.
Yeah.
I don't see how they lose.
That team is loaded, bro. That's why they're my pick to win the championship. Like they're loaded.
The playmaking is there. The shooting is there. The scoring is there. They're one of the best offenses in the league.
The
they
defense
got the
is
defense.
there. Yeah, they check all the boxes.
As much as I want the dream to bring a championship to the state of Georgia, bring another one. I don't see how we beat them. If we
I do see a world though, and this may sound crazy to you, but I do see a world where they can potentially lose to the Aces.
Yeah, because because we've seen situations. Luka Doncic is the first one I can think off the top of my head. We played the Clippers, where the best player in that series is just going to win the series, even if that team is loaded.
The best team, the team that's clicking going into the playoffs, playing really high level basketball. Like I think we just saw it in the NBA with the Indiana Pacers.
Right.
Yes. The Pacers finished the regular season really strong. And although everyone thought they were a joke in the playoffs, they found themselves in the NBA Finals with a chance to win in a Game 7.
That momentum and like they, their depth pieces got to clicking later on. So I definitely see that from that perspective too.
And this is the championship experience team as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that plays a part into it as well. Going into playoffs, they've been here before.
Yeah, Jewel Lloyd, A'ja Wilson, those girls, they can. I think they can definitely get in that mindset of, what I'm saying. Hey, it's time to hunker down. It's time to go.
Yep.
My only thing is that chip on the Link shoulder, though. They got that chip on their shoulder. I
feel you. I just
got to see. I think once we see how the first round go, I think that will give us probably perspective, because
I think A'ja Wilson got a chip on her shoulder too, because a lot of people this year have been saying that Fisa Collier was a better player than her.
Yeah, I think if the Aces come on the first round and completely dominate, like there's a tier difference between them and their opponent, and we see it, like it's visible that they have no chance. I think we're going to have a different conversation if they meet up in the if they meet up in the conference finals. And boy, would that be a series to watch.
They're going to meet up in the conference finals. I don't see anybody else in the West. Well, who, Phoenix?
I just don't think Seattle anything to sleep on. I want to see that matchup with A'ja
I just don't think
Malonga.
I don't think Seattle. I don't think Seattle. I don't think Seattle's ready yet. And what I mean when I say I don't mean Seattle's ready yet, I don't think Malonga's ready yet.
That's definitely a good way to look at it. I kind of agree there. But I want to see if she's ready though. Like just see, because if she comes out and she plays a good series against say A'ja Wilson comes out and she struggles to score on Malonga in the first 2 games. Right?
Not right now. Not right now. I just think we're a year or two away from seeing that. We're maybe 2 years from seeing from a world where like Dominique Malonga, it's an IQ thing.
Yeah, I could definitely like positioning.
You understand what I'm saying? It's positioning, me understanding physicality, me also understanding how to draw fouls on a younger player who's going to be anxious to play against somebody like myself. So they're going to be susceptible to fakes, different things like that. Jab stepping, just being a veteran, understanding when I get by this player, let me throw a pump fake up there. She jumps in the air, let me body bump her, get to the free throw line, let me get her off the floor.
Yeah, and then
I don't think Malonga has enough. Right, I don't think Malonga has enough experience yet to be disciplined with everything that Asia's going to throw at her. So I see a world where she gets into foul trouble. And I see a world where she uses this film to better herself in the future. Because I just don't think she's ready for that yet. She's 18 years old, bro. A'ja Wilson been the best player in the world for how long now?
Hey, man, for a long time.
You know what I'm saying? So I just don't, not yet.
I just think it's also good for her career that her first matchup as a rookie in the playoffs is the best WNBA player on the planet. that's good for her because she gets her first outing. She gets to see the best of the best. It doesn't get better than that. So she like, if I do good against her, who am I scared of?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but there's also another side to that sword, right? And it's the side that she gets so crushed, she's defeated. Like, and we've seen that too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We've seen young player go out there against the vet. They've been excited to play against their whole life because I'm sure Dominique Malonga from wherever she was watching Aja Wilson play, and she's a fan.
Yeah.
So the
Had
first
to.
time you go against your idol, there's some jitters. You know what I mean? Especially when it's the playoffs. Like I just recently heard Magic Johnson talk about how he had to play Dr. J in the NBA Finals in his rookie year, and this was after spending the summer at Dr. J's house.
Yeah.
So this is my idol. This is the dude I look up to, and now he's my rival. You understand what I'm saying? Right away, and I'm a young player, and
Yeah.
Dominic Malonga don't have Kareem to lean on.
Yeah. It's just gonna be interesting to see it go either way. I think it's kind of a case of who's hot and who's not, pretty much. Like as you said earlier, as we've been talking about the Aces and compare them to the Pacers in a way where they ended off the season hot. They got a fire lit under them and they shot like a rocket to end the season off. And we have to see if a team like the Storm can withstand that momentum. And if they can't, then and they end up getting to conference finals, which is where me and you have them. We can they withstand that momentum?
Momentum is, like I said, momentum is a real thing when it comes to these playoffs, man. When it comes to sports, period. Like I think how you finish the season going into the playoffs, a lot of times that carries over. So I mean, and we also know that in sports and anything is possible in a playoff series. I just think realistically, it's going to be Minnesota and the Aces, and it's probably going to be the Dream and the Liberty in the East. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this finals look. I'm excited to see how the finals look. Of course, how the playoffs look. Before we jump the gun a little too much, these matchups. I have my hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take for real. I think almost every team in the first round is going to get swept.
I don't think that's so much of a hot take.
Yeah, that's why I put the quotation mark.
Yeah, I think the talent gap is pretty wide. I think we kind of know who the real contenders are in the league right now. We know who's kind of just hanging around. Like I think that's pretty clear. I think that's been made clear, especially throughout the late part of the season. Teams start to separate themselves.
Yeah, I pretty much got every team getting swept, and I think well, I don't know if it's considered upset because they're the lower seed, but I think the Pacers, not the Pacers, excuse me, the Fever are going to get packed out the first round. They're going to get packed up, which I don't know if it's necessarily a hot take because, again, oh no, the Fever playing the Dream. I got my matchups mixed up. Who was I looking at? Oh yeah, okay. The Liberty. I think y'all might fall in the first. That's what I was thinking. I think y'all might fall in first. It's gonna be. I think y'all might struggle to start that series.
I think this comes down to youth versus experience, bro.
Yeah.
And I think we just had this conversation. You know what I mean? I think the young upstart team, they're going to be scrappy, they're going to fight, but if the Liberty don't blow them out, the games will be close at the end, and then the experience kicks in.
Yeah.
So we've been in this moment before. We understand how to close the door in playoff games, and you guys don't.
Yeah. I also want to see a good chess match between coaches. I want to see these coaches put their players in position to win. Right. Even if you don't have the talent, I want to see the chess match. I want to see the mental battle. That's what I want.
It's hard. It's hard. One thing I'll say, just from a coaching perspective, like I told you, I do coach as well. It's hard to play that chess game when you don't have all the pieces. You understand? Yeah. Like it's not as easy to put stuff together if I'm missing a rook or I'm missing a knight. You understand what I'm saying? Or I don't have a bishop. Like since we're talking about chess, I'm using that analogy. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I don't have these pieces, it's hard for me to maneuver around the board. So that's the issue sometimes. So like with a team like Washington, for example, like they don't have all the pieces necessary to win a championship. So that chess game, they're limited in the moves they could make on the board.
Yeah.
Because if the game goes this way, they don't have the pieces that can play that way. So that's where the difficulty comes in. So then I look at a team like the Liberty and I say, okay, they may not have all the pieces, but they have the experience and they understand how the game is played.
Yeah.
At this level. So they'll be able to maneuver around what they don't have.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know about the young teams yet, man. I just think they're gonna be really good, and they some of them have really good seasons, but I just think they're a little bit of ways away, a couple years away from dethroning the guys that have been around.
Yeah, and one thing also I've noticed, as we've seen in a few cases, most recently in the NFL, for example, James Daniels, sometimes ignorance is bliss when it comes to this. Like, they don't understand what's going on. They're just playing. And sometimes these vets, knowing the pressure, sometimes that can shift the tide too. I don't have the pressure because I'm just in here doing my thing. And then boom, next thing you know, I'm beating very good teams, very great teams. I think the Timberwolves showed us that the first year they made the conference finals, right? Anthony Edwards is out there thugging.
Yeah, but the Timberwolves also had a really good team. I know people like to diminish the supporting cast that he has, but he's had a really good supporting cast. I know we dragged Rudy Gobert and stuff like that, so that was a very complete team in Minnesota. Yeah, Ant was the face of it, but he had help. He had the pieces necessary to make a run.
Yeah,
I don't think a team like Washington has that.
Oh yeah, definitely not Washington. Not yet, at least. They can put that together, but I think I don't know. I think I just again we got to see. I almost forgot to talk about this. It was like probably the last 2 months of the season. Every time I looked at my phone, I got a notification that Alyssa Thomas had a triple double. That was crazy to me.
That's what she do. That's what she do.
Yeah, and it was like she has games where she has near triple doubles, but it was like the triple doubles just came in bunches, especially to end the season off. This season, she had quite a few lately. Over the accumulated the last couple of years. I think last time I looked, she had like 29 in like a 2-year span or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking and she had like 4 or 5 within the span of weeks this season. I can remember. I'm like, what happened? The triple double just coming in. I think I forgot who it was. I think it was somebody on the Lynx. I can't remember. I think it was their center had a triple double almost at halftime, or like a minute within third. I'm like, what is this triple double flurry coming from?
What a WNBA game is getting more fast paced and spaced out as well, but the efficiency numbers aren't going up. So they're taking more shots. There are more misses. So people are able to rebound more. Then the game's more free flowing. They're getting up and down more. So the frequency of assists and stuff like that is going to go up as well. As the point totals rise, the assists will rise. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. As we've seen with the Lynx, as we spoke on a lot. Right. So they had like 30 assists a game as a team this season.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely see that. Definitely makes sense. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good, man. I think we covered everything that we need to cover. If anything, let's touch base when the first round starts.
Yeah. It was good having you up here, Sports Haven. It's nice to have a partner in crime, man. I've been doing this by myself a while. It's kind of tough. It's nice to talk about somebody who watched the game, converse about the X's and O's and how we view certain things. Before I end the episode, of course, y'all know we have a sponsor, Bet Us. You get 125% increase on your first 3 deposits. We got a YouTube link in the bio. We have a link in a YouTube bio. Excuse me. This is Not Move Podcast. I'm Moss Price, the Sports Haven. We're gonna be doing this thing, man. Y'all gonna get some great content from us. I appreciate y'all, Not Move family. Much love, and we gonna touch base when the first round starts, which probably I think starts tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna watch a few games. We're gonna touch base, see, talk about what we see. But yeah, I check y'all out in quite a few days, man. This is my Pride Against Sports Haven. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you,
not
bro.
move. This is Not Move podcast. Lock in or log out, and remember, we're not moved.
Appreciate you, bro.